I'm Bree and I'm cooking through my grandma's recipe box. Today I am making her homemade pie dough, and then I'm going to make a chocolate pie to fill that dough. I'm going to make 2 pies. I am going to need 1.5 cups of flour. Get 1.5. And then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we need a 1/2 cup of lard. I think lard and shortening are the same thing. Suddenly I don't think so. Oh well. Okay, and then it says we need 6 to 8 tablespoons of ice water. So I've got ice and water, and it says to add 1 in at a time. So I guess we're just gonna mix them up and see how it feels. Okay, next step is to gently wrap it in plastic wrap and then let it rest for at least 30 minutes in the fridge before we can roll it out. Okay, so now these pie crusts have chilled for 30 minutes and they're now ready to be rolled out. First, you need to dust the counter with some flour. Your rolling pin as well. And I have my pie pans already. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll these out to fit the pie. Turn them as I go to get more of a circle shape. Pick it up so it's thick and more flour down. Grandma used to make a lot of these, and it did not take her very long to make these. She was very good at making pies. She loved making pies. She said it was so much easier than making cookies or cakes or anything else. All right, let's see if I can get this into the pie shell. Pie dish. Now you gotta take a fork and poke holes in the bottom. So it doesn't bubble up. I've seen this thing called pie weights and stuff, so it doesn't bubble up, but I never seen her use those, so I'm not going to do that either. I've watched her make pie dough several times. I've never actually made them with her. The pie filling I've made with her a lot, and made myself several times. Never the pie dough. Alright, I'm going to bake these at 425 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes depending on how brown they get, and I'll be back. Okay, while the pie crust is baking, we're going to work on the chocolate pie filling. I have four variations of this chocolate pie from my grandma. I have her mom's recipe. Her mom's name was Ella, handwritten from her, so probably 150 years old at this point. She made the chocolate pie on stovetop with just regular cocoa. And then I have these two versions, one with meringue and one without it. And then I have the one recipe that I wrote while making it with her. So that's the one I'm going to make first, and then I'm going to probably make Ella's second, just to see the original, to see how far it came. So I'll make two pies today. Alright, so first we need to mix all the dry ingredients together. So let's go ahead and roll this over. And you will need to sift them because sometimes the dry ingredients are a bit lumpy. It'll make your life a little easier if you sift them. So you're going to need 1 cup of sugar. It's mainly the cocoa powder that can get lumpy like that. Then you need 4 tablespoons of flour. And that's 4. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm not even worried about the salt, so I'm just going to put it over here. And then for the cocoa, it's 1/2 cup of cocoa combined, but it's special dark chocolate and then regular cocoa. So we have the special dark chocolate and then we have the regular cocoa mix. Now she said she likes to, some days makes a little more dark chocolate or makes a little more light chocolate. But she says mainly if you just do 1/2 and 1/2, it works out great. I think it's just dependent on how much chocolate she preferred that day. I think some days she wanted more dark chocolate and other days she wanted more light chocolate. So I'm just going to do about 1/2 and 1/2. But I love dark chocolate, so if you're not a fan of dark chocolate, I would do more light chocolate. Alright, and then you just put them all together. And I'll show you real quick the lumps that are in the chocolate, which is why I get the sifter out. I just push the rest through at the bottom. Alright, so we got the dry ingredients. Let's give it a little mix. Mix that salt in as well. Don't want a lump of salt somewhere. Alright, that's good enough. We're going to be mixing that again. Alright, the next step is to separate your eggs. You need 2 egg yolks beaten. Oh, that's fun. I'm going to have to go grab another egg. And I save this for scrambled eggs in the morning, so it's not wasted. And I'm just gonna beat these up real quick. And then you need 2 cups of milk. And I need to wipe my hands off. I'm going to put the eggs in here, mix those up, and now the milk has to be warm when you're doing this, so you want to do this slowly so you don't scramble the eggs, because nobody wants scrambled eggs in their pie filling. Good, now I'm not worried about scrambled eggs anymore. I've got the eggs up to temperature. And then you're just going to mix this all together. It's going to be really watery. It will thicken up in the microwave. And after we cook this in the microwave, we will be adding 2 more ingredients to this. Butter and vanilla. So we're going to microwave this for 2 minutes, stir it, microwave it for 2 more minutes, and we're going to do that about 4 or 5 more times until it's really thick in the microwave. Ella's recipe says to do it stovetop, but Grandma said she found out that she could do it in the microwave much more easily, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back with you once it's nice and thick. We have our pie crust out of the oven now, and as you can see, the weights, I didn't need any pie weights, it's just stayed to the bottom of the pie crust. I'm going to move them over here so I can start making Ella's recipe on the stovetop. Just push this one back a little bit. Her stovetop recipe is very similar to this, only that we're going to cook it on the stovetop. And I imagine that I'm going to have to do a lot more mixing. It is now done for this one. And you can see that it looks kind of weird. Looks all cracky. That is perfectly normal. If you stir it up, it will look just fine. To finish it off, you need to add 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of vanilla. So there's the butter, and here is the vanilla. just mix them all up. And then it has to cool before you can put it in the pie crust, which is perfect because the pie crust has to cool anyway, so they can both cool together. As soon as I get the butter melted, I'll bring it over and show it to you, that it looks nice and smooth again. It's nice and smooth now, and you can kind of see like how thick it is. It shouldn't be like so liquidy that it moves after you move your fork or spoon. It should stay in place. That's how thick you want it for the pie crust. If it's not that thick, you're going to have to microwave it a little bit longer. Okay, so now time for Ella's directions. So hers also say to sift in. We're gonna be sifting in 1 cup of sugar. Like I said, it's basically the same, only there's no special dark chocolate, which makes me a little sad, but some people don't like dark chocolate like I do. Then it's 4 tablespoons of flour, which is also the same. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is also the same. Just sift it in. Oh, I forgot the cocoa. That's the best part. And then 1/2 cup of cocoa. Now you're going to do 2 cups of milk and 2 egg yolks. Just mixing all this together, make my life a little easier. So 2 cups of milk. And 2 egg yolks. Though she doesn't really say. Okay, we're gonna heat this up and then add the egg yolks. Let's go ahead and get those ready. too. And I got scrambled eggs for the morning. Before I start this, I'm gonna clean this up. Get a whisk. She doesn't say whether it's supposed to be low heat or high heat. I'm gonna go with medium heat. So that sounds best. I'm gonna go ahead and beat these. Says to mix this all together until it's dissolved. Oh, this is already worse. I can tell this right now. Microwave is 100% better. Because this means I'm going to be standing here for however long this takes mixing. This is probably going to be the one and only time I do this. Also, I don't know why I wouldn't just put the eggs in here right now. It seems way easier to put the eggs in now. Why it's room temperature. And keep heating it up together. That's what I do in the microwave. Why try to put those eggs in when the mixture is hot? I don't understand that one. If I mess it up, it's my pie. Okay, I can touch both of these things, so while this is doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and marry these two things together. Actually, probably going to need a spoon for this. Best part in the bowl. All right. Apparently did not make a lot of filling. Maybe I just chose the wrong pie size. This is looking really good. Pie number one, the dark chocolate version. Now, the reason why it's so much crust on there is because she likes to put meringue on it. I don't like meringue, so I'm not going to do that. We will get whipped topping though and put on there because that's what makes it really awesome, in my opinion. And it's too hot to eat that, but it's not too hot to eat this. It's very good. And I baked the extra pie crust I had left on a sheet pan, so I could try the whole pie with the extra pie crust. Turned out perfect. I think this is gonna be my midnight snack. Don't tell the kids.
What?
They don't need to know there's a pie bowl to lick. Maybe I'll let my kids lick the pot. This pot. This is not even close to being thick yet. Okay, so these are the two pies side by side. This is what they look like. They do need to cool for a little bit, and then I'll put them in the refrigerator to cool overnight, and then we'll be able to eat them tomorrow.